Now, you might not think this next story matters to you, but it very well might. The Trump administration has begun using the Office of Personnel Management to send government-wide emails. Two federal employees, acting anonymously, have filed a lawsuit citing significant security risks and argues this process leaves the government vulnerable, and maybe even you, to hackers. I want to bring in Billy Mitchell, who's been covering this for Scoop News Group. Billy, it's great to have you with us. I want to play for you some sound from President Trump today, asked about Elon Musk's authority and what he, meaning the president, might do to restrain it. Let's listen.
Well, he's got access only to letting people go that he thinks are no good if we agree with him, and it's only if we agree with him. He's a very talented guy from the standpoint of management and costs, and we put him in charge of seeing what he can do with certain groups and certain numbers. Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval, and we'll give him the approval where appropriate. Where not appropriate, we won't.
So, Billy, this is the first time I've heard the president say out loud that there will be some restraints on Elon Musk. That's very much been on the minds of congressional Democrats and either federal labor unions or employees. I mean, does Musk have authority to do basically anything?
Your guess is as good as mine. It seems at this point he has no one holding him back. He's entered now several agencies. You mentioned OPM at the top of the conversation. It was the first one, and I think of it as sort of the opening salvo, that canary in the coal mine, because he entered OPM and really didn't have anyone resisting. He doesn't, by all accounts, have the clearance or the authorization to enter and handle these systems, that government information. And in the federal bureaucracy, there's a lot of controls in place so that your average person, even government employees themselves, can't just plug in a USB drive to a system. There's concerns about that. So it seems that they've come in and now it's moved on to other agencies, GSA, the Treasury, and as recently as over the weekend, USAID, with all going on there. And it seems like, although the president says he's vetting it, he's giving him the control, does he have the clearance? Is he approved? And are they taking the care with those systems that they should be?
And I well remember, Billy, covering the Obama White House in 2015 when Office of Personnel Management garnered tremendous global headlines because there had been an intrusion, a hacking, and it wasn't all that sophisticated. Basically, the hackers just sat there for a while, waited to see if anyone would, if I remember correctly, you correct me if I'm wrong, detect them and then pulled stuff out.
Absolutely. They went through a third-party contractor, some systems that, were unassuming, and went after the crown jewels, so to speak. And that's how.
And when you say crown jewel, help my audience understand what it means. What's there?
It's 20. Well, in that case, it was 22 million records from then current and former federal employees that the Chinese took, and now have this huge profile of the federal workforce.
So Office of Personnel Management now, that's what OPM means. If there's a third party, Elon Musk, and a server that's unsecured, it raises real questions.
Exactly. It's that analogy that we hear all too often about how people's homes are being hacked because they have smart refrigerators or smart toasters, and they're like, why do I need to secure my toaster? Well, that's how a bad actor can get in. You find this back door, and then you can infiltrate the rest of the network. In this case, there's a server that reportedly the Musk team with the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, has set up unauthorized on site, and if that doesn't have the right security controls in place, a bad actor, China, Russia, whoever it might be, could target that, especially as they're blasting out these emails, and it's very public that they're doing so. So this system, by all accounts, is probably hooked up to many other systems within OPM that contains all those retirement benefits, the federal workforce information, reviews, and things like that about the federal workforce. So that's one concern, is that somebody can just backdoor this through this server.
And this lawsuit that's been filed, does it seek an injunction? Does it want a federal judge to basically say, unhook that server and stop what you're doing?
Exactly. So the thing that the two anonymous federal employees who filed this lawsuit take account with is something that is based on a 2002 law that requires any time a federal agency sets up a system that collects, hosts, or disseminates federal information, they have to do a privacy impact assessment. Simply put, that's, we got to demonstrate that we're going to take care of the information that these systems are collecting and make that public. Because they set up this server in such a hasty manner, they didn't do that by all accounts. And so therefore, this system
is in violation of the law.
It's in violation of the law. So this system sitting there, and, again, it's potentially, opening the door for somebody to come in and backdoor it.
Any sense, Billy, that this will be considered on an expedited basis, considering the security implications?
Well, I would hope so for a couple of reasons. One, they continue to move on to other agencies, and they're doing the same thing at other ones where they're taking control of systems. In the Treasury's case, the federal payment system. At USA, you're closing out people's access to email and things like that as they shutter the agency. And so it needs to be done quickly if they want to stop that movement, if it is in fact illegal. Additionally, they may have accomplished what they set out to accomplish. I think there's different levels of nefariousness in terms of what you might suspect the DOGE to be doing. They could be using it to mine data about the federal workforce to aim their agenda. They could be taking it, exporting it, and doing whatever else they might want to do with it, which is an absolute red flag 9/11 type alarm.
Right, under the heading of whatever else they might do with it. Billy Mitchell, you're watching. We're glad you're watching. Please come back.
Thank you.